Chris Jones has been one of the most dominant players in all of football in the last decade. The 6'6", 310-pound Mississippi State product has had multiple seasons with double-digit sacks, multiple Pro Bowl appearances, and first-team All-Pro nods. While Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce garner most of the attention for the Chiefs, this guy has been the anchor for their defense during their dynasty run, helping lead Kansas City to 3 championships and 4 Super Bowl appearances in 5 seasons. The Chiefs truly got a steal in the 2016 draft, taking Chris Jones at the 37th pick. Yeah, 37th pick. Makes no sense. How did someone this dominant fall that far? What happened to the players that went before him? In this video, we'll be going over all 36 players taken before Chris Jones in the 2016 draft and how their careers have panned out thus far. Starting with the first overall pick by the Los Angeles Rams, Jared Goff. Coming into the 2016 NFL Draft, the first overall pick actually belonged to the Tennessee Titans, but just 2 short weeks before draft day, the Titans traded the first pick to the Rams due to Tennessee drafting their franchise quarterback Marcus Mariota 1 year prior. And with Jared Goff projected as the consensus first overall pick, the Titans knew they could get some insane value for the number 1 draft pick, which is exactly what happened. The Titans got their value, and the Rams got their guy. Goff would have his first full season as a starter in his second year under new head coach Sean McVay, where he had a Pro Bowl season. The following year, Goff would not only replicate that, but also lead Los Angeles to the Super Bowl, where they would ultimately lose to Tom Brady and the Patriots. Goff would go on to play 2 more seasons as a Ram before being dealt to the Detroit Lions in a blockbuster trade for veteran quarterback Matthew Stafford. McVay dumped Goff, but the Lions took the opportunity to gain draft capital and cast faith that Jared still had the potential to win in the NFL. We now know how it played out, a win for both sides. The second overall pick would also be traded, as the Browns would trade this pick to the Philadelphia Eagles, who chose Carson Wentz. Wentz has had a very up-and-down career. After a rocky rookie year, Wentz broke out in 2017, where he was the favorite to win NFL MVP before his tragic leg injury. That season, his Eagles would win a championship with backup quarterback Nick Foles, and fans everywhere would start to wonder if Wentz was just a product of Coach Doug Peterson's system. Wentz would return and flash in the following years before taking a big decline in 2020. Wentz would then be shipped to the Indianapolis Colts, where he would start 1 season before bouncing around the league with the Commanders and the Rams, where he currently serves as the backup to Matthew Stafford. Third overall, the Chargers gladly picked Joey Bosa. The Ohio State defensive end was the best defensive player in the class, and it showed his rookie year, as he would record 10.5 sacks, winning the Defensive Rookie of the Year award. Since then, Bosa has made multiple Pro Bowl teams, but he also has had his share of hindering injuries. With the 4th overall pick, the Dallas Cowboys chose Ezekiel Elliott. After a special career at Ohio State, Elliott would start his NFL career off with a boom, rushing for a league-leading 1,631 yards and 15 touchdowns in his rookie year, making first-team All-Pro as a rookie. Elliott led the league in rushing once more in his 3rd season, rushing for 1,434 yards, making second-team All-Pro. Elliott's Cowboys career was pretty good for modern-day running backs. He put up some big numbers until he hit a wall towards the end of his 7-year tenure in Dallas. The Cowboys would release Zeke after the 2022 season. Elliott would sign with the New England Patriots, where he served as the backup in 2023, where he did show glimpses of vintage Zeke. Let's see if another team gives him a chance at more carries in the coming years. At pick 5, the Jacksonville Jaguars selected Jalen Ramsey. Since being drafted, Ramsey has been one of, if not the best cornerback in football, making 3 first-team All-Pros and 7 Pro Bowls in his 8-year career. Ramsey has been somewhat of a controversial player, though, asking out of Jacksonville, then asking out of his second team, the Los Angeles Rams, before ultimately ending up in Miami, where he's currently still an elite cornerback for the Dolphins. The Baltimore Ravens chose offensive tackle Ronnie Stanley with the 6th overall pick. Stanley has had a consistently great NFL career, even making first-team All-Pro in 2019, Lamar Jackson's unanimous MVP season. Since then, however, Stanley has dealt with some major injuries, making his future with Baltimore very questionable. At 7th overall, the San Francisco 49ers picked DeForest Buckner. Buckner has been a defensive beast his entire career. He had 4 great years with the Niners before being traded for a first-round pick to the Indianapolis Colts in 2020. Buckner is an all-pro and the definition of a disruptor and has been nothing short of fantastic in his NFL career. The top 8 was absolutely amazing because with the 8th pick, the Tennessee Titans took Jack Conklin, who has been one of the best right tackles in football for 8 years, making 2 first-team All-Pro teams in the process, one with the Titans and one with the Cleveland Browns. With the 9th overall pick, the Chicago Bears picked Leonard Floyd. Floyd had a disappointing 4-year stint with the Bears, but he found his footing with the Los Angeles Rams. Since 2020, Floyd hasn't had a season with less than 9 sacks and was a big part in the Rams' 2021 Super Bowl winning run. Floyd currently serves as a great edge for the Buffalo Bills, recording 10.5 sacks with them in 2023. 10 and 11 would see 2 average cornerbacks get taken, Eli Apple to the New York Giants at 10 and Vernon Hargreaves to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 11. Apple has been on the wrong end of some internet memes during his time, as his play on the field has not backed up his cocky attitude. Apple currently serves as a backup in Miami, while Hargreaves was out of the league by 2021 after bouncing around for a while. At pick 12, the New Orleans Saints selected Sheldon Rankins. Rankins has had a very solid and consistent career as a run-stuffing beast with the Saints, Cleveland Browns, and now the Houston Texans. He was a good pick, but not Chris Jones. Pick 13, the Miami Dolphins selected Laramie Tunsil. Tunsil fell in the draft due to a video surfacing online of him smoking a substance from a gas mask bong. Despite this, Tunsil has been one of the best left tackles in football since he was drafted. Tunsil would make his way to the Houston Texans after 3 seasons as a Dolphin. He would make 4 Pro Bowl teams as a Texan, including in 2023. Pick 14, the Oakland Raiders selected Carl Joseph. His highlights from West Virginia were amazing, but the undersized safety was played out of position during his time with the Raiders. They played him in the box as a strong safety, but if you watch his tape, in college he thrived as a free safety. Leave it up to the Raiders to properly develop their players. Pick 15, the Cleveland Browns took Corey Coleman. The Browns thought they were getting an electrifying receiver, but Coleman only played 27 games as a pro. With the 16th overall pick, the Detroit Lions would select a player who would still be their starting right tackle, Taylor Decker. Great pick. At 17 and 18, we would see 2 Pro Bowl-level players come off the board, as safety Keanu Neal would head to the Atlanta Falcons at 17, and center Ryan Kelly would head to the Indianapolis Colts at 18. Neal is currently a free agent, while Kelly is still starting at an elite level for Indy in 2024. Pick 19 belonged to the Buffalo Bills as they picked Shaq Lawson, a decent edge defender who still plays for Buffalo but as a backup in 2023. At pick 20, the New York Jets took Darren Lee, a linebacker from Ohio State, talented but troubled. The next 3 picks would all be receivers. Will Fuller to the Houston Texans at 21, Josh Doctson to the Washington Redskins at 22, and Laquan Treadwell to the Minnesota Vikings at 23. Fuller's career was very unfortunate as injuries would keep this uber-talented deep threat from reaching his full potential. If Fuller was ever able to get a few full seasons under his belt, he may be considered one of the best receivers of the decade. Meanwhile, Doctson and Treadwell were just flat-out busts. 24 and 25 would both be AFC North cornerbacks, as William Jackson would head to the Cincinnati Bengals at 24, followed by Artie Burns to the Pittsburgh Steelers at 25. Jackson had a pretty solid career with both the Bengals and the Washington Commanders, but Burns has been a career backup. Pick 26 was arguably the biggest bust from this entire class, as the Denver Broncos traded up to select quarterback Paxton Lynch. After Peyton Manning retired, Denver was looking for his replacement. However, Lynch would only start 4 games in his 2 career seasons, making this one of the most laughable picks of the decade. With the 27th overall pick, the Green Bay Packers would select Kenny Clark, yet another very good defensive tackle in this class. The 3-time Pro Bowler is still playing high-level football for the Packers. Picks 28 through 31 were all players who were never anything special. Joshua Garnett to the 49ers at 28, Robert Nkemdiche to the Arizona Cardinals at 29, Vernon Butler to the Carolina Panthers at 30, and Germain Ifedi to the Seattle Seahawks at 31. Pick 32, the Browns picked again, taking Emmanuel Ogbah. Ogbah has been a solid contributing defensive end in his career. He currently rushes the passer for the Miami Dolphins. Picks 33 and 34 were both linebackers, Kevin Dodd to the Tennessee Titans and Jalen Smith to the Dallas Cowboys. Dodd was out of the league after 2 years, but Smith should have been a first-round pick if not for an injury at Notre Dame. He proved that early in his career, making a Pro Bowl and cementing himself as a top linebacker in the NFL for a brief time. His career sadly hit rock bottom before long. Picks 35 and 36 are two very solid players in the NFL today. Tight end Hunter Henry to the San Diego Chargers and linebacker Myles Jack to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Henry is now a solid tight end for the Patriots, and Jack is currently a solid linebacker for the Steelers, two very mid-careers. And here we are, pick 37, Chris Jones. What a steal for the Kansas City Chiefs. How would you redraft the top 10 picks in the 2016 NFL Draft? Does Chris Jones go top 5? Let us know in the comments. Bonus material: after pick 37, there were still many good players on the board. The very next pick was Xavier Howard to the Dolphins and Derrick Henry a few picks later to the Titans. That's not all. Michael Thomas, Deion Jones, James Bradbury, Kevin Byard, Yannick Ngakoue, Joe Thuney, Justin Simmons, Dak Prescott, Tyreek Hill, and Matthew Judon highlight those who were still available in 2016. What do you think about that draft class?